Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Matrimony.com Limited Q2 FY22 results conference call hosted by Ambit Capital. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal for an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vivekanand Subbaraman from Ambit Capital. Thank you, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Zaid. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is safe and healthy. And we, on behalf of Ambit Capital, I welcome the management of Matrimony, represented by Mr. Murugavel Janakiraman, Chairman and Managing Director, and Mr. Sushant Pai, Chief Financial Officer. I hand over the call to Mr. Muruga and Sushant for their opening remarks, and then we shall move to the Q&A.
Okay. Thank you, Vivekanand, and good evening, everyone. Hope all of you are continuing to stay safe and healthy. I am very happy to report yet another good quarter for Matrimony with an all-round performance and delivering 5 consecutive quarters of double-digit year-on-year growth. With a new footprint in Bangladesh and a new vernacular app in Tamil called Jodii, Jodii, in matchmaking, and also the integration of ShaadiSaga into wedding services businesses, we are opening new frontiers for our growth. These new initiatives, combined with other ongoing improvements, will help us to have a better quarter 4. This initiative also demonstrates our focus towards executing our strategic priorities efficiently and accelerate our growth. In quarter 2, on a consolidated basis, we have achieved a billing of rupees 106.8 crore, a growth of 1.6% quarter-over-quarter and 110.5% year-on-year. The revenue was at rupees 110 crore, a growth of 4.3% quarter-over-quarter and 17.9% year-on-year. For matchmaking, the key highlights are as follows. In quarter 2, billing was at rupees 106.1 crores, a growth of 1.3% quarter-over-quarter and growth of 10.3% year-on-year. Revenue at rupees 109.2 crores, a growth of 4.1% quarter-over-quarter and 17.8% year-on-year. We added 2.2 lakhs paid subscriptions during the quarter, a growth of 4.4% year-on-year. The average transaction value for the matchmaking business was flat quarter-over-quarter but increased 5.7% year-on-year. We continue to track the impact we create for our customers. We are happy to state we have created 28,000 plus success stories in quarter 2. Now coming to the marriage services business, on September 15th, we completed the acquisition of Boatman Tech Private Limited, promoters of brand ShaadiSaga. We are now working on the integration to enable the brands to become a number 1 in wedding services brands pan-India. Revenue for the quarter was rupees 0.8 crore, a growth of 41.2% quarter-over-quarter and 35.1% year-on-year. The loss in the quarter was rupees 1.5 crore as against rupees 2.1 crore in quarter 1. Since the consolidation was only for 15 days in this quarter, ShaadiSaga contribution was significant in the last quarter. On the billing and revenue outlook for quarter 3, matchmaking billing may be touch and go of double-digit year-on-year growth due to some bit of seasonality, but however, we expect a double-digit year-on-year growth on revenue. Wedding service expect to grow triple-digit year-on-year, but on a smaller basis, and due to ShaadiSaga consolidation effect taking effect for the full quarter. Loss will increase from quarter 2 levels due to ShaadiSaga integration. Now let me pass it to Sushant to comment on the key profitability highlights. Sushant, over to you.
Thanks, Muruga. Our EBITDA margin for the matchmaking business in Q2 has improved strongly to 29% from 27.7% in quarter 1 and 23.7% a year ago. Marketing expenses are at 39.9 crores as compared to 37.3 crores in quarter 1. Excluding marketing expenses, Our margins in matchmaking are at 66% 66% in quarter 2 as compared to 63% in quarter 1 and 60% a year ago. On a consolidated basis, our EBITDA margins in quarter 2 are at 24% as compared to 21.6% in quarter 1 and 18.8% a year ago. On an absolute basis, EBITDA has grown by 15.5% quarter on quarter and 14.5% year on year. Tax rate is at 24.5% for the quarter. PAT, profit after tax, excluding Astro, which is the associate company, is at rupees 16.8 crores, a growth of 19% quarter on quarter and 59.3% year on year. Share of loss from Astro is rupees 19.9 lakhs. Our operating cash generation for the quarter has been robust at rupees 21.6 crores and our cash balance is at rupees 304 crores. ROCE is at 28%. On the outlook for quarter 3 margins, we expect EBITDA and PAT to grow double digit on a year on year basis, but expect it to decline on a quarter on quarter basis due to seasonality, newer expansion, and increase in marriage services losses due to Shadi Saga integration. I would like to end with the customary safe harbor statement. Certain statements during this call could be forward-looking statements on our business. These involve a number of risks and uncertainties that could cause the actual results to differ materially from such forward-looking statements. We do not undertake to update any such forward-looking statements that may be made from time to time by or on behalf of the company unless it is required by law. Over to you, Vivek, for Q&A.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handset while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask a question, please press star and 1. First question is from the line of Akash Kapadia from Anived PMS. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for taking my question. This is Prakash Kapadia. I had 2 questions. As we are seeing vaccination and unlock happening across the country, how do we look at some of the OPEX cost in the second half of the year? Obviously, ad spend with revenue growth has come down as percentage of sales. Can you give some color on the other operating costs? And secondly, if you could highlight some of the productivity measures, where are we in the journey on the employees? What kind of targets have we set in terms of revenue per employee or profit per employee? And one directional question, in India, the online matchmaking market is at such a nascent stage. So, what's the intention of, scaling that outside India as of now?
Okay, thank you. So let me respond to the questions. One is on the operation cost. The OPEX cost for us are primarily that the office infrastructures and some of the running costs. Since that the country has kind of opened up and the associates started coming to office. So as far as the rental and the employee cost concerned, whether the people are working from home or otherwise also, that continues. Even the electricity and all, that started eating from quarter 2 onwards. Because we started functioning because we had a second wave of COVID in the April, May, June, but Q2 is more or less, you can assume that the cost is sort of almost back to normal. Maybe some increase may happen in the Q3, but those things can be marginal because we have been operating sort of more on a full-fledged basis from quarter 2 onwards. Except, tech and other people continue to work from home. So we don't see that they're coming the full-fledged wave from this quarter. That may happen possibly next quarter because that, however, those numbers are very marginal. So in terms of OPEX cost, maybe only slight increase now can happen on account of people coming back to office. However, we may expect some costs going up on account of we are migrating the cloud, Amazon cloud. That means some costs may increase in quarter 3, but again, we expect that the full-fledged costs happening from quarter 4 onwards. On account of ongoing operations, the impact will be marginal in this quarter. When it comes to the productivity per employee, again, we don't know that the specific, the per employee target. However, because we have various the calling segments, because we don't, it's not that a telecaller or relationship manager on working on a single segment. So there are various segments, we have the various benchmarking. So we continue to drive those benchmarking productivity. So just give an example. We have a fresh ready customers and first time payment as well as renewal. There are various benchmarking for these segments, and we continue to drive those benchmarks. It's more on the conversion side rather than absolute number, because we continue to also look at increasing the ARPU also. So for us internally, that we continue to look at the way to drive the productivity in terms of conversions moving up.
Okay.
And in terms of the growth plans beyond India, definitely we are looking at the outside of India as a growth opportunity. We have Bangladeshi matrimony, which we started the operations. So we have the team and everything in place. We are not commenced a full-fledged operation on account of some of the payment gateway integration. Those things are happening. We expect the full-fledged operation to start probably maybe sometime maybe next month. With respect to other countries, we are looking at Sri Lanka as an opportunity. We are working on setting up operations there. Beyond the Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, we are also looking at a Muslim Match. We have muslimmatch.com, the matchmaking service for the global Muslim, and that has been which is trying to grow that revenue as well. So we continue to look for opportunity beyond India, both on matrimony space and some niche segment, which I told you, which we are looking at those opportunities as well. So we are not only looking at India, we are also looking at outside of India, both in the matchmaking space as well as in the matrimony space.
Right. And, if you could just give some color on, any change in consumer behavior, because, COVID was one of kind of an event. So are we seeing, more traction? Is it now easier for conversion? Is it more difficult now things are mobile and people are moving out? Any major change at a consumer level in the southern market?
We are not seeing any significant change. And however, during the COVID time, we saw an increase of number of people signing up. That sort of become a sort of softened, because when people are at home and people who are otherwise focused on the professional priorities, they desire to kind of to get married. We saw the spike in the registration. Now those things have come to a regular level. So I think we see that happening.
Okay. Thank you. That is helpful. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Next question is from the line of Mohit Motwani from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yeah. Hi. Thanks for the opportunity. I have two questions. One is on the employee expenses, which have come down from about 34 crores in the first quarter to about 31 crores. So what is the reason for this decline? That is my first question. And second question is on the paid subscription profiles. So they have remained almost flattish compared to the last quarter, and we are doing about 40 crores of advertising expenses. Right? We are running at an annualized run rate of about 150 to 160 crores, and that has been the target. So do you feel that, you'll be planning to increase these advertising expenses in order to chase growth, or the focus will be always on profitability, rather than growth? So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that. Thank you.
Despite the employee cost, yes, it has come down in quarter 2, but however, we expect that the employee cost to start moving up from quarter 3. And Q2, because of some reduction on the people side, some efficiency, and some reduction has happened. However, that we expect that to change from quarter 3 onward. With respect to marketing costs will continue to move up while you are almost 40 crore. Will continue to move up, because one thing that we are opening a new growth frontier, as well as also the competition intensity continue to remain high. However, the growth will be only marginal, from 40 crore level, slightly move up and all that. We are not seeing any substantial increase in marketing costs. The marketing costs are not going to come down. Maybe a slight increase in marketing costs may happen on a quarter-to-quarter basis.
Mohit, this is Sushant here. Just like to add on the people cost, one more addition that will happen next quarter is due to Shadi Saga. In the quarter 2, we only had 15 days of consolidation. In quarter 3, you will have the full quarter. So therefore, people cost will increase because of that as well.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Prateek Kumar from Antique Stock Broking. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. Good evening. My first question is on your billing, I think you partly answered in prior question, but billing and subscription numbers or paid subscription, all of these numbers seems to be very flattish in past 4 quarters, while it was a big jump prior to that, or relatively good jump prior to that. They seems to be flattening in past 4 quarters, and that is showing up in deferred revenues, also probably softening while your revenue growth is there. So how should we look at it? Another step jump from here? Is something which will happen, or it will be a sort of, as you also already mentioned that billing growth in 3Q might be touch and go double digit because the base will catch up. But what happens after, like now we are at 100 and 105 crore kind of billing quarterly. So what is the growth outlook here?
Yeah, so typically the way we see that, so quarter 4 normally the best quarter, that's set the trend for the entire year. So what do we see in the quarter 4? We try to more or less, because after that, the Q2 there is some bit of seasonality, Q3 also festival, other things impact the business. Once again, so basically we set the new benchmark on quarter 4 and try to maintain that the number more or less, or try to grow the number on a quarter-over-quarter basis. So with a big jump happen on a quarter-over-quarter basis, no. But between quarter 3 and quarter 4, definitely we see that move to the next level. So we see that quarter 4 we moved from on the thing that from we see the jump that happens. We expect the similar kind of growth happening from Q3 to Q4. However, we continue to maintain year-on-year double-digit basis. Again, based on October number you're talking about, it may be a touch and go double-digit growth, but post Diwali we see that the increasing number happening. So at this point of time, based on October, we had some bit of seasonality and IPL other thing had some kind of impact. But however, we still hope that we could be able to have that double-digit. But however, on revenue side, we'll have the double-digit growth on the matchmaking. So basically, this business about Q4 will have the better benchmark and try to maintain that number or try to grow that number for the rest of the quarters. That's the way. But still, we look at on year-on-year basis, there is double-digit growth. By the last 5 quarters, we had a year-on-year double-digit growth, which is around 10+%. Like next of the Q1, we had obviously it's one of the quarters we had a good growth because the last Q1 was COVID quarter and all that. Basically, we are working on the various initiatives, taking steps to grow from the 10+% to a 15% or 20%. We have initiated, a lot of the new things. We talk about Bangladesh or launch of the Vernacular app, wedding services. At the enterprise level, the plan is to move to from 10+% to, again, we have the even this quarter also at the enterprise level, Q3 we have double-digit growth on the billing as well as revenue side. Yes, we are looking at, various initiatives taking us from the 10+ or 11% growth into a 15% on the billing side as the immediate priority, which we are working on. Hope that it's happen, if not at the Q3 level, probably Q4. So basically, some of the initiatives would take time to yield results and all those things. So basically, to answer your question, Q4 is the benchmark. Try to emulate that number or try to grow the number marginally for the rest of the quarter. Once again, set the new benchmark Q4. That's where by and large the trend happens.
And is there something which we should learn, like over as the COVID situation seems to normalize? How is the competitive activity in terms of marketing spend? Has it increased, or is it remaining at same level or going down?
Yeah.
Because expenses, all corporates are doing higher expenses now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So in terms of competitors, the marketing spend is continuing to remain high. However, what we see is that definitely we're able to widen the gap between us and the competitors. That we definitely see that's happening. If you look at absolute basis on the revenue side, we look at the quarter-on-quarter basis, we're able to widen the gaps. So overall, as a leader, we are not able to grow because as a large player, if we're able to grow, we're able to widen the gap between the players. So it's not that, instead of increasing competitors spend and all those, it's not that the competitors are able to grow much better and all those things. So In fact, we are having a higher base growing better. So that means as a company, we're able to execute well, we're able to strategize and be able to prioritize our things. So basically, we are widening the gap on absolute basis. So, but again, however, the competitive intensity that remains high and the spending is continuing. So we don't know how long this is going to continue. Actually, the thing is that what we are focusing on, we're focusing on our strategic priorities. We are focusing on launching new initiatives. We are focusing on driving our growth on all of it. So when we continue widening the gap, kind of hopefully see in the future probably that, when the competitor realize that, they are fighting a losing battle, probably that may change in all of it.
And sir, just one last question. You said the normalization of employee expense and ShaadiSaga related employee expense will hit Q3. So this will take our 31 crore expense to more than 1Q number of 34 crores, or it should come back to that number?
The employee cost we're talking about, employee cost it won't be level at least 34 crore and all. And so it could definitely move up from compared to Q2 level. And yeah, so it maybe at least 1.5 crore sort of thing. So, Prashant, you want to comment on that?
Oh yeah, it will be higher than Q2 levels. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely higher than Q2 level.
Maybe close to a couple of crores higher than Q2.
Okay. So we'll still not cross 1Q level of cost despite integration of that company.
Sorry, you are not audible there. Can you repeat it again, please?
I was just saying, so still in spite of integration of the other company, we'll still not cross 1Q level of employee cost in Q3.
You're talking about quarter one, is it?
So Q3 cost will still remain lower with Q1. Because Q1 cost was quite high.
Yeah. Cost will be, I think more or less will be a similar level like Q1. Okay, and because the Q2 is taken a hit, and we expect probably the cost will move back to close to Q1.
Yeah. So yeah, Q1 was the employee benefit was at the consolidated level was 33.7 or 33.8 crores, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it will not exceed that level.
Sure, sir. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is on the line of Nilesh Shah from Envision Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi Muruga. I was curious to know why, the vernacular app that we have launched, we're calling it Jodii, and it's not like Matrimony or something like that. Any specific reason for a very separate and a distinct brand?
Sort of Matrimony by and large, known for people looking for life partner, and again, it's pretty much targeting the people who are certain level of the socioeconomic status, or the people who are by and large degree holders, people who can able to use the app in English language. We don't know more Matrimony. The people know the Matrimony today. They're not able to use the Matrimony site for the obvious reason that it's positioned toward a segment of the population. We believe that, we thought it's better to have a new name because we are targeting a completely different segment and completely different audience base. So rather than going to Matrimony, we don't want the people to see as the Matrimony service. So that's the reason, one of the reasons we kept it as a thing. Also, we have thought, the name, short name, so we can able to coin a name, JODII, which is sort of, name we thought we could be able to connect well with that segment of the population what they are looking at targeting. So basically, the primary reason is we don't want the people to see the Matrimony site. Because there are, kind of the players and so that's the reason.
Fair enough. And will this app itself become a pan-India thing in the sense, I probably, if I don't know if I've understood correctly, but this is currently restricted to the Tamil language. Will this essentially kind of become a pan-India vernacular app?
Yes. Currently it's at a very early stage. It's 20 days since we launched. So it's too early to comment. Yes, we launched in the one market just to get some kind of understanding and insights and to figure out how this center segment behaves, whether it's kind of it's progress as per our plan. While there is an opportunity, actually in nascent stage. However, if you're able to get our strategy right, you're able to get our play right, yes, launching in other languages, it will happen. So at this point of time, the focus is to get the strategy and the execution right in one market before venture to other things. Yes, in the future, we will take with other languages if it works well. Yes, that's easy thing to do.
Okay. Could you share some perspective on the competitive scenario in Bangladesh? Are there other players who are already there? What's the nature of the market? How competitive it is, and things of that kind?
It's completely virgin market in our view, and so we just set up the operation recently. But in terms of the metrics, other things, we are a number one player. So we are not launch any TV campaign. It's, operating out of India, are able to reach a certain scale in terms of number of people coming into the platform on a daily basis. However, we are not able to maximize or not able to drive the revenue because in the absence of payment gateway. Since we set up operations, we have the local payment gateway. We believe that we're able to kind of convert better. Plus, now the team in place with the TV campaign and other things, we're able to grow that the market. So it's probably at this part of the market, probably 10 years began like how India was 10 years ago. That's the way it is. So no competition, serious competition, and so we believe that a good opportunity in front of us. However, again, it's a very very early stage. So, but as per the competition concerned, no any serious competition which you need to worry about in order. Okay, we are a number one player. So we are very small at this point of time. We hope we're able to maximize or capitalize on the opportunity, being the player with the good reach, the local operations, and the market is, as I said, probably in our view, probably 10 years began compared to India.
And last year on Shaadi Saga, now that we've done the acquisition and we've started the integration process, what is essentially the outlook on Shaadi Saga in the sense that any key milestones that we intend to achieve in terms of number of listings, and probably today we are in select cities. How soon do we want to kind of spread to other cities and things of that kind? If you can share in terms of what's the outlook there on Shaadi Saga.
Yeah, thanks. Basically, with the Shaadi Saga integration, we've become a pan-India number one player. We have a strong reach in South India in terms of number of listings. Shaadi Saga has a very good reach in terms of number of listings in the north and west. So combining both the entities, we have on a pan-India basis, we are number one in the listings, right? Because in the two-sided marketplace, listings are very important because they also build a good platform. So what I'm looking at achieving, one of the listing side will be the largest player, both on weddingbazaar.com as well as mandap.com. And that's the first thing. And also the other thing is about increase the number of people because it's a subscription-based business model. Increase the number of people signing up for our paid subscription because some of the categories Shaadi Saga has a good penetration. They think like photography, makeup artists. On the other hand, Wedding Bazaar has a good reach in some other categories like jewelers and some other categories. So basically, there is a strong synergy between north and south on the different categories. Plus, some of the things Shaadi Saga has done a great job in terms of the insights-based selling and all. Basically, what you're looking at is the key metrics. Listings one thing, and driving that the free to the paid subscription, that is driving more people going for the subscription package. And third is about the delivering the value for the vendors because it's important that the vendors are signing up, getting the number of leads. So for us, the number of leads, listings, and also revenue. These are the three things we are looking at driving. And again, we'll be a strong number one in both the categories. So we're definitely quite excited. As I said, starting this quarter, we expect the wedding services to combining both the entities to move on a triple-digit basis. So the base is small. Again, we expect not only for this quarter, for the years to come, we expect on year-on-year basis we can grow at a triple-digit because it's a large opportunities. With the combining, we definitely are getting some important leadership bandwidth, and we believe that we could be able to drive the business well without losing too much of money. I think that's the important thing.
I assume that given that the opportunity is larger, the revenues for us at Matrimony from marriage services, which is Shaadi Saga, would be a lot higher at some point of time in future versus the matchmaking services. Is that a fair assumption to make? And if so, how long would it take for marriage services to basically become as big as the matchmaking side in terms of revenues?
We don't see because matchmaking, we are 400 plus crore, soon we expect to touch a 500 plus crore of revenue on matchmaking. The wedding services for us that the immediate milestone probably next couple of years reaching 100 crore. That's something we're looking at. So that's the immediate the goal and a few years goal, which we hope you can achieve probably even sooner than later also. That's a goal what we have. However, when that wedding service can become as large as whether it can go to 500 crore like matchmaking, I don't know. Maybe it take probably maybe a little longer. But again, let's first get to the milestone of 100 crore, then probably we'll have better clarity of when we can reach that kind of number. So.
Great.
But opportunity, as you said, it's definitely humongous. But as far as the critical milestone is reaching the 100 crore, and then we can work on that next phase of growth strategies or opportunities there. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you and good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Kush Gosrani from InCred AMC. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello sir. Thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted to understand how is the competitive intensity in the north? Are the players getting more aggressive post the second lockdown, or we are seeing some signs of receding?
No, it's remaining at a similar level. It's not either going higher or it's not going kind of down in all this. It remained at a similar level as it was earlier. So, but still remained at the spend wise it's still kind of it's high.
So do you foresee in near future they can come down or they would stay elevated as well?
It's very difficult to say how competitors will kind of behave. But the thing is that as I said, we continue to focus on our growth strategy, growth initiatives. So I don't know how long it's going to continue, but however we continue to invest and to grow our business. So yeah, it's difficult to say what will be competitors move, whether will they reduce the marketing spend or. But at this point in time, yes, marketing spend at a higher level. It's much more than what is really required, I would say that and all.
So if the competition, if the intensity stays elevated or increases from here, are we willing to spend more than 150 crores of advertising?
So beyond a point, if the need is there, if there is an opportunity to invest and grow, we'll continue to invest. Some other market, yes, northern market, our investment can further move up. That's again quarter on quarter, we're investing in the marketing and growing the business. So if there is a need to invest, yes, we can invest because we are the only profit-making company. Look at the matchmaking. We look at our excluding marketing, our gross margin on matchmaking, which is the Q2, we're operating at almost 60% gross margin. When including marketing, we are matchmaking almost reaches 29%. So you still have the cushion to invest if you want to. So again, we are trying to balance between invest meaningfully, manage the competition, and grow the business. Yes. But again, there are new initiatives as well. So we continue to invest to grow the business. Would there be a further increase in marketing spend by competitor? If that happens, what is the reaction? See, beyond a point, it doesn't make to invest too much of money also. We're just only kind of putting money for the sake of putting in all. We're trying to balance between managing at a certain level and invest where it is required and manage the growth. So we're trying to balance on all these aspects. So just for the sake of putting, we not want to put the money.
Okay, sure. And in terms of how much investments will go into the Bangladesh venture? And will they impact our margins?
No, it's going to be only a gradual thing, so it won't be significantly impacted. Yes, there'll be some kind of investment, but again, it's very early stage. It won't be a substantial at this point.
Okay, sure. And in terms of wedding services, how are we seeing things now that we are seeing the revenue growth picking up as well, and losses also coming down? So what is any particular milestones that you would like to highlight other than the 100 crore you just pointed out?
Yeah, 100 crore won't achieve in a few years, but at this point in time, we expect starting this quarter will move to triple-digit growth, combining both the entities. So again, this quarter the cost will move up on account of the integration that's happening, and we'll probably have better thing on Q4. What is that thing outlook and this quarter the revenue on triple-digit, but the losses will increase. So yeah, probably it can fetching a couple of crores of revenue on a quarterly basis. That's what we see. But again, still it's a very small. We need to accelerate the growth further. And we have the better thing because integration happening by next call we'll have better clarity on the growth prospect for wedding services. But however, as I said, we'll have double-digit growth for the quarters to come. We see that definitely that visibility for the years to come. What kind of percentage, other things and all, because once the integration done, we'll have better clarity on that.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, sir.
Next question is from the line of Vivekanand Subramanian from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So the question I had was basically the strategy that we had pivoted to, the strategy of customizing our pricing to drive the volume of transactions, and therefore that was resulting in demand elasticity. We saw this for the last 4-5 quarters. So was there any change in the current quarter that resulted in transactions not growing so sharply in the current quarter? I mean, I also see that the ATV has gone up in the current quarter after many quarters of decline. Any thoughts on that, and how should one look at this, the billing growth in the online matchmaking segment? Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Vivekanand. The volume grew by 4+%, year on year. So it's not a double-digit basis. However, we look at that ARPU from it was at 4,400, grew to 4,700. Again, we look at compared to Q1, the ARPU at a similar level. So what we are doing, on one hand, we are trying to grow the volume. At the same time, we also think that ARPU also can be driven. So basically, we are trying to balance between the volume growth as well as on the ARPU growth. So that's what our thing we are trying to do, and so that's where we are coming a mix of both ARPU growth as well as on the volume growth. So we are kind of trying to do this, and we sort of expect it be a mix of volume growth and ARPU growth. However, probably the Q4 when we probably have a kind of big share is the better side in terms of whether the volume or things. I think going forward, the ARPU reach certain level, we expect the volume because look at last year was 4,300, we moved to 4,700 levels for last couple of quarters. We want to maintain at this level. Then from this level, we are trying to kind of continue to grow the volume also. So because last year we taken a hit on the ARPU. If you look at it, yearly it was 5,000 rupees ARPU to come down to 4,300 level. We want to slightly move the ARPU as well. So basically, the strategy is to drive both.
Okay. And Muruga, is it possible to give us some color on how your ARPU would be for the various markets? Is it at a very significant discount in the competitive northern market versus your pricing in the south? And how have the trends moved in the last 6-9 months in these key markets?
Yeah. So definitely the ARPU wise, Vivekanand, definitely the south is definitely much higher than compared to northern market. You know that the north is one of the highly competitive markets. So and there's a lot of discounts taking place at market. We also try to play accordingly. So ARPU wise, yes, definitely it's vary from market to market. We play to our strength in some other market and try to compete in some other markets. So that's way the ARPU is kind of playing out. But again, within this segment, we still try to maximize the ARPU because the segment of the customer, which try to do that across the market. However, I believe South is a very strong market. ARPU is definitely much higher.
Okay, and my last question is with respect to some of the premium services that you have much higher ARPU levels. Is that seeing traction now that the economic activity and the unlocking is now underway? Because if I remember correctly, some quarters ago you had mentioned that assisted services and elite matchmaking services were impacted because of the lack of travel or travel restrictions due to COVID.
Yes, we see that personal services started to move up and started to grow well.
Okay, thanks a lot and all the best.
Thanks, Vivekanand.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Shubh Joshi from Pile of Wealth. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Shubh Joshi.
Hello, good evening. So, sir, actually, my question is, what kind of competition we are getting for the Northern India, and what are the edges we are doing for to getting in? Because northern part is very competitive, and we have very large part of cake in the Northern India.
Yes, see, That's not the only market where we are not a strong number one there. We are definitely, kind of, we are one of the leaders, not a strong leader as in the rest of the market. So we are looking at various things, continue to improve our marketing spend and continue to launch new offerings. So sometime this year we launched Rajasthani matrimony, we launched Bihari matrimony. We are looking at penetrating even market-wise. We continue to execute our strategies, continue to execute our plan. However, that market in terms of, we have two players in the market and then Shaadi and Jeevan Sathi. So it's going to be a little longer for us to kind of, become a strong player because we have two players and both are investing a lot in that market. So, but as I said, we are continuing to increase our marketing spend, continue to launch our strategies, continue to execute our strategies to kind of further improve our thing. We have been sort of growing, but still we have a kind of couple of years to go or maybe longer also to kind of to further increase our market share to become a strong player or strong number one in that market. So at this point in time, definitely we have begun the yeah.
And the second question is, sir, so our what are the expenses will be that will be much more increased or it will be segment or it will be consolidated, our market expenses?
In the marketing spend, what you are sharing is the consolidated marketing expenses. However, the marketing spend on a quarterly basis is continually going to, grow on a quarter-over-quarter slightly. Again, it depends on how the other things are going to work out. But at this point of time, the marketing spend will be around 40 plus crore level. That may continue to increase on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So, okay. Yes, the marketing as a consolidated basis.
Okay. And the third question is, sir, so actually we had started a marriage services. And can you tell me what type of margins we are getting and the what type of under penetration we are doing on the marriage services? So it's a like of B2B services. So we are hiring. So the vendors are coming in our platforms and they are selling their products. It's kind of this, or it's like of India Mart kind of.
No, it's like India Mart. It's a subscription business model. We have various types of vendors from photographer, makeup artists, and the jewelers, apparel, and animal service providers. We have various packages based on the different categories. So it's not one single price for the vendor because the makeup artists, they won't pay. Their revenue per customer is much lower compared to the caterers. The revenue per customer, they make a lot of money. So it depends on the cities, depends on the category. We have different subscription models. We are within that there are multiple packages. It's a likes of India Mart thing. So yes, there are customers are paying money. The revenue what you get is mainly from the subscription that vendors in the wedding service are paying for it. The thing is that we have to increase the number of vendors paying for it. So with the acquisition, we believe that we'll be able to increase the number of overall listings. There's also able to increase that number of leads which you could able to deliver for the paid vendors. So we believe that the growth thing will get better on wedding services. Yes, the business model is a subscription business model, like what you said.
And sir, what kind of margins we are expected from these services?
Yeah. So margins, it's a very scale because the business is going to be in a loss-making business because still in a very, very nascent stage. Because when the business reaches a certain critical benchmark or milestone, then it will start being profit. So when the business today to 100 crore level, definitely be profitable. When it reaches the 300 crore level, its margin can be 30%, 40% because see, one the subscription business model is that unlike matchmaking, look at your matchmaking, instead of being it, customer don't stay beyond 1 year. Still on the matchmaking business at the scale, we are able to operate at 60% gross margin and with it almost 30% on the even with including in the marketing, which is instead of don't have a repeated customer. The advantage of subscription business model is that once you reach a certain scale and velocity, and you get to continue to get the existing customers paying for the subscription and the subscription revenue also, and they're paying better ARPU also because it keep increasing that the revenue per customer by adding more services or keep increasing the price also. So you have the customers able to deliver value. You can have the lifelong customers also. So at the scale and level, the margin can be much higher because that's one of the reasons that today the subscription business, the SaaS-based business model-based company and all, and they're trading much better because they have the long tenure with the customer. So you hope that wedding service want to reach a scale and size. The margin can be very high, 30%, 40%. You can have a very high margin. But at this point of time, it's a very, very nascent stage. I don't know at what level become profitable. Probably taking the benchmark on the core level, it can become profitable, or maybe earlier that also. But whether you want to stop at that level of listing and order, because we want to continue to invest, because if you're not investing, there's so much investment can happen in this category. So first and foremost, we want to reach a critical milestone in terms of listing and certain revenue and ensure that it's going the right direction. Then we're able to show that it's growing and scaling up. Then we may want to invest again the wedding services growth and get to that the initial milestone of 100 crore in the next couple of years. And then we look at how to take it further from there. So basically, to answer the question, the growth margin can be very high. It can at a scale. At 500 crore level, the margin can be 40-50%.
Okay. Sir, the last question. Sir, actually, we are opening our matrimonial offices. So these offices are only on the tier 1 city, or it will be on tier 2, tier 3 city, or it's only on metropolitan city, or so we are opening on the all over the India.
No, it's we call it it's a tier 1 and tier 2 cities, and again we just opened a couple of outlets, one in Chennai and so one in Pune recently. So the by and large in tier 1 cities, and it's probably the tier 2 cities. So we are not like a retailer that too many outlets getting opened, but we wherever see the opportunity, we may open some more outlets.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. All the best for the future growth.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Nikhil Chaudhary from Chris Portfolio. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. Sir, my question was with respect to the Shaadi Saga platform. I was actually going through the platform, and I wanted to understand what would be our strategy on strengthening the platform, because I happen to come across other players like, say, WedMeGood, Wedding Please or Satvachan, who also provide similar type of aggregator platform where vendors are listed. So do we have some strategy where we have, say, for example, a famous photographer who has exclusive tie-up with Shaadi Saga, or say, for example, we have some premium services, because I happen to come across one startup who is providing a photo distribution service through facial recognition, where you just put your selfie and wherever you were there in the entire wedding, your photo gets, all the photos come to you, your mobile through that just one selfie. So just wanted to understand what type of differentiation strategy we are trying to implement so that we become the go-to platform where we are having the services that probably customer is actually seeking, or else it would be another case of competitive platform where we are just competing for the market share.
There's a couple of things. One is that any two-sided marketplace, so whoever has a large number of in terms of the traffic, whether people are coming for the services, and also whoever has a large number of listings. So both are very, very important, because any B2B, whether be take care. So that's why that the strength of the B2B depend on these two things. So the advantage of Matrimony.com is that compared to other players, while they can have that similar kind of business model and they can even try to work on the listings, the strength of Matrimony.com is the richness of the members what you have, or the millions of members what you have. So today Matrimony.com has millions of members. So when the people find as a life partner, this can be natural, can be integrated effectively in the wedding service, and you could be able to generate the leads, which is difficult for other players, because for them, kind of the cost of listing is okay, they may be able to get it already, but cost of acquiring customer, it's quite challenging. For us, we already have the customer, it's more like forward integration. How we effectively able to integrate? Yes, we have done the integration, that we are able to generate good number of leads coming from the existing customers. The advantage of what Matrimony.com is the millions of members looking for a life partner, they are already with us. We want to find a life partner, we come to know, because the person deletes a profile, we know that so-and-so getting married. If you're able to effectively integrate, we are, without, the cost of acquiring customers is almost negligent. Okay? Yes, we may continue to spend money on some digital other things may be required, but however, majority of things come from the internal matchmaking database. So that's the strength we have compared to other places. Obviously, planning the operations, strength what you have and all that, which is sort of difficult for other players. However, so platform-wise, yes, they may kind of have a similar kind of platform, but again, we'll continue to work on what kind of differentiation, other thing, what you can have. While at the Wedding Bazaar competing with other players in this space, we have Mandap.com. Mandap.com in a way that is very unique, and we don't see any competitors in the space, so that we are India's largest venue discovery platform, continue to strengthen that one. So with the leadership team in place, we believe these segments can continue to find traction and continue to kind of grow both on the listing side as well as on the leads and orders. So which is difficult for other players to do because of the single platform plus the constraint what they have in order.
Understood.
However, we can't rule out any competition, but we see the current outlook. We don't see anybody can come close to a wedding service.
Understood. And sir, probably once again, so why don't we probably look for some premium services which the other players are not having? Say, for example, just like I mentioned, the photo distribution company that I happen to come across, there are few players in the market. Why don't we look to acquire? Because they are very small and probably we acquire them at an early stage and try to get their services or integrate it with the Shaadi Saga. And I guess the utility of these services are very high because I happen to see them in few of the weddings where people are using they're uploading the selfie and getting the images directly. Like wherever they were in the wedding, they were getting the images for them. They need not actually go through the folder or gallery and something like that.
Yeah, understand. We continue to look for opportunities which can strengthen our core offerings. So we invest big in Astrovision and we bought Shaadi Saga. We continue to look for opportunities. Anything we help our customers or help our offerings. We'll look into those opportunities.
Got it, sir. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address queries from all participants, please restrict your questions to 2 per participant. Time permitting, you may return to the queue for your follow-up questions. Next question is from the line of Abhimanyu Ola from GrowthX Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, I'm audible?
Yes, you are Abhimanyu. You are audible. Yes.
My first question was actually, can you sort of give a ratio as to how much you aim to grow with respect to your advertising cost? So if I look at your advertising cost this quarter, it grew about 7%, but your billings have only grown by 4%. And secondly, do you track as to what amount of growth is organic?
So look at again, it's vary from quarter to quarter, but gradually there'll be some increase in marketing. So some quarter maybe for Q1, the marketing is sort of compared to the plan, we are sort of reduce it because based on the outlook what is on. However, the marketing is on a trend basis, it continue to grow. So in terms of so that's why I see that the market is spend happening. Sorry, I just kind of lost the second question. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. What percentage of this growth would be organic?
Sorry. Yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah. See, the thing is that I think the strength of Matrimony.com is that it's almost majority of the profile acquisitions are organic because the brands what you build over a period of time. So the good percent of the almost like over 80% of the profile acquisitions are organic for us. So, but however, we need to continue to invest big in the marketing because of the one thing is the big and consumer intent category. Because while the marketing spend may not be at this level, if not for the I-10 competitive activities. So yes, yes, as I said, the good percentage of profiles are organic. So today, only probably around less than 20% of profiles comes through other means, which are digital other things. But majority of the profile acquisitions are intended directly to the brand.
Okay, and what exactly is your primary aim for these international acquisitions? Is this are you trying to grab basically your South Indian diaspora in other countries?
Yes, that has been always there because today the NRIs, whether South Indians or Indians across the world, they know use our matrimony services. That always been part of our growth. So we are with the expansion of other countries, we are looking at targeting other nationalities. But targeting Indians across the world, we continue to target, definitely NRI is a good segment of revenue coming from the NRI. However, the overall level, India is a big opportunity compared to the NRI market.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Nilesh Jethani from BOI AXA Mutual Fund. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. So my first question was on the engagement side. on the ShaadiSaga.com. So I wanted to understand, so what are we doing to basically engage with the prospective vendor, say a photographer or a mandap guy? How will he come to know whether we are an integrated part now? He would be able to get more number of leads. So what are we doing on the ground level to basically educate the prospective vendors and as well as drive the number of vendors? So I believe there are around 40,000 vendors on ShaadiSaga. So how are we planning to grow that number?
Yeah. So basically, we are working on integration, Nilesh, and once that integration, at the right point of time, we'll communicate, educate the vendors, and make it an integrated platform. And that's the approach we are taking. So when we are able to, once we integrate, we'll become the single largest player in the wedding services space. Yes, we are looking at a series of communication that will happen over a period. So the ways we will communicate, either through the email or other forms of communication, calling out and communicating, all this will happen.
So that is, but how are we planning to actually engage with them? So one is email. So are we planning to open some offices at local levels, adding staff? So what is our thought process over there?
Yeah, it's we want to open an office and all in terms of to reach out the customer, because the feet on street, the sales team, we go on there and communicate to customer. Plus also we call and communicate. They are looking at a series of communication. I think that's the easiest thing to do, because today you can send it to SMS or WhatsApp or email. There are multiple forms of communications are possible. So the thing about the communicating is the easiest part. Again, since you're working on integration, at right stage, you'll communicate to customer, make it as an integrated platform. We don't see that as a problem. And the thing is about, we are looking at how to the integrated platform is going to enhance the value for customer. That again, once you integrate, we'll be able to demonstrate the customer are seeing the enhanced value, because two platforms coming together with the strength of Matrimony.com, we will be able to deliver a better value for the people who have taken the paid subscriptions. The thing is that we need to look at accelerating the number of the free vendors into a paid vendors. That requires, we are looking at both the feet on street, and also the telecalling. So looking at leveraging both the sales channel to increase the number of people to go for the paid subscription.
Okay, so let me ask in this way. Say FY21 ShaadiSaga did around 2.1 crore top line. So we are envisaging to reach a revenue of around 100 crores in next couple of years from the marriage services business. So what are the typical low-hanging fruits you think are available for that kind of 100 crores revenue in next couple of years?
No, it's simple. We have to convert the free vendors into paid vendors. Okay, across the categories, be it a photographer, makeup artist, jeweler, apparels, and so if the opportunity we look at the ARPUs vary from the different categories from 10,000 to 50,000 also. So it's a simple thing about increase the number of customers and increase the ARPU. So even if you reach 5, yeah. Yes, please go ahead.
40,000, how much would be paid?
No, I don't know the exact number of ShaadiSaga. I've seen that, but again, it's a combining. Again, we're not taking only 40,000. Our thing is about, while there are certain listings are there, our goal is to combine the entity will probably become probably 50,000 or 60,000 plus listing. I don't know, because once the integration, we know the how many duplicates and all. We don't see much duplicate, because our listings are fairly in south or west and east. And however, it's not about the combined entity becoming 50,000 or 60,000 listings. We continue to work on increase the number of listings as well, because Tamil Nadu as the one market alone probably can have 20,000 plus listings, because the wedding as a category has a large number of vendors. So the thing is, we're going to work on both the things. One is to increase the number of the vendors into the platform. At the same time, accelerate the number of free vendors into paid vendors. Both has to happen in parallel.
Got it. And one last clarification. So you said if that business reaches a revenue of around 500 crore, the margins could be easily 30 to 40%. And what could be a typical margin if the business reaches 100 crore revenue?
No, again, it's too early for us to say that. So under core level, yeah, it can be profitable. And what percentage, I'm not in a position to say at this point of time.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Those were my questions.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Next question is from the line of Swapna Kamath from Narottam Seksaria Family Office. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello sir. Good evening. My question is on our paid subscriptions. Are seeing a nice trend of growth over the last around 6 quarters. And though our average transaction value, I can see has gone down, and again in first half again it has started spiking up, and we have reported nice growth in the H1. So I wanted to understand that clearly it seems that our strategy of discounting in regions like North, etc., is enabling us to gain the market share. So what is our strategy going ahead in terms of this growth in paid subscription? Should we see this trend of the average transaction value growth going ahead sustaining and the full year numbers looking into nice double-digit growth over next this year and a couple, going ahead? How do we see this?
Yeah, no, I think that's the strategy, Shobana, and we are looking at driving both ATV as well as the paid transaction. We expect the ATV to kind of remain at this level or further to move up, because one thing we see that the personal services operating at higher ARPU also moving up. So possibly the ARPU may also go up from this level also, because we used to operate on 5,000 rupees ARPU, and so basically the strategy about discount where it is required, some segments, some market. At the same time, try to maximize that ARPU in such segments. So basically the combination of driving ARPU and at the same time drive volume is what we are working on it. So with respect to the growth, yes, with the last 5 quarters of double-digit growth, we expect the trend to continue. The various strategies and steps what we are taking at the enterprise level, we definitely are moved to the double-digit growth. Now we're looking at taking the matchmaking to sort of the new initiative, other thing. Hopefully the plan is to take it to sort of 15% growth, and hope that happens soon.
Okay. And so our paid subscriptions, is my understanding correct that the double-digit growth is also because of this COVID, that the adoption of the internet and the matchmaking services has improved, and that has also helped us in terms of achieving this, or is it more related to our discounting strategy which has helped us capture that market share?
No.
Is that trend more accelerating now, and we should see it more sustainable going ahead in terms of the adoption of this, where we can see the numbers more meaningfully more sustainable going ahead in terms of the paid subscription conversion related to your listings on the portal?
I think the trend-wise, we continue to see that the double-digit growth, and we are looking at the steps and the initiative what we are taking. The plan is to kind of move from the 10 or 10+% growth to whether it can move to a much higher growth. So that is what we are working on. So as far as during the COVID period, we saw that the spike, but that's not a sustainable level, because the people who otherwise would have come at a regular, I would say regular trend. People otherwise when they reach a certain threshold would have come on this on matrimony platform. That acceleration happened because of people who are otherwise delayed, reached into the platform. So now we see that it's become more like a regular trend. So I think today what is the growth happening? It's on account of the you move to a regular level of the profile registration. So we expect it becomes sort of normalized from thing on it grow at a certain pace. So however, the combination of the initiatives what they are taking plus strategies and other things, discounting is not the only thing. Discounting some segment is one of the plans and all, but however, doing a lot on the product side, lot on the business side. The combination of all these factors, helping us to grow, and which we expect the growth should further move up. So the thing is about the enterprise level is moved to now with the combination of matchmaking, wedding services, move to 10+% growth. But we hope that with all the things, kind of start yielding results in the coming quarter, we can hopefully to move to a growth level better than the kind of growth what we have been having.
Okay, so thanks a lot for the question answers here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Janakiraman for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Vivekanand, and thank you everyone for participating in the conference call and asking questions, and thanks for your interest in matrimony.com. I look forward to staying in touch. If you have any question, anything, please feel to reach out to me or to our CFO, Susan Pai. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Thanks, Vivekanand. Thanks, Zaid. Thank you all for joining, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Janakiraman and Mr. Pai. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Ambit Capital, that concludes today's conference call. Thank you all for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.